New York Magazine recently called filmmaker David O. Russell, quote, the new prototype of the New York sexual neurotic. He created controversy with his first feature film, Spanking the Monkey, a dark comedy revolving around an incestuous relationship. That film, made independently, earned Russell the Audience Award at the Sundance Film Festival. Flirting with Disaster is his follow-up. It is about a young father's search for his biological parents, which sends him on a cross-country trek. I'm pleased to have him here with us this evening. Welcome.
Hi, Charlie.
What do you think of that, the new prototype of the New York sexual neurotic? Did you read that with what?
I read it and I thought I tricked them. That's what I thought.
yeah, that's right.
Because, you know, I think being a director for me, I don't have one body I want to do, one body of work. In my first film, you could have said, oh, he's the new kind of twisted Polanski. And this is more in the nature of Woody Allen in terms of being about neurosis and sex and comedy. And next time I'm going to do something completely different. So,
someone said to me that your films are all about angst.
I think it's embarrassing. The comedy in this film derives from embarrassment and anguish and unintended sexual situations or social situations. Yeah, angst I think is the hard.
That's okay.
Right.
Let's start with Flirting with Disaster. The thing that I found remarkable for me was the casting. And I'm sure you've gotten lots of ink about that because you got George Segal, you got Mary Tyler Moore, you've got, who else? Tell me.
Lily Tomlin. Alan Alda. All people
who we haven't seen a lot of recently.
Right.
You know, give me the sense of that and what you were looking for and how you convinced them to come to this film and what they delivered for you.
Well, the wonder of it was that the story presented this opportunity to have two generations. You have Patricia Arquette, Téa Leoni, and Ben Stiller, and then you have these older actors who we haven't seen in a while. And the way I got them was by writing 15 drafts of the script. I wrote so many drafts of the script to make it as good as I could that when they saw it, they all responded to it. And it was a chance for each of them to do something different. Mary, I originally wanted Madeline Kahn or Anne Bancroft to play Mary's part. And she came to her interview in a very tight dress, showing off her figure, and telling me that she was willing to lift up her blouse, which she does in the film, and play against type completely. Play a very aggressive, abrasive, sexual woman. Because she
saw this as a role that would enable her to broaden her own opportunities.
She's tired of being Mary Richards, you know, and I think, you know, she wants to play. She's a real actress, and she wants to play.
What happened? Didn't you have to convince her, though? She said, for part of it, she basically objected and said, you know, what was that dialogue about?
She didn't object to flipping her shirt up. What she objected to was at the end when she's in bed with George Segal and they're having sex, and it said in the script in bikini underwear, and she got onto the set and said, well, how about this robe? And I said, no, how about, and she said, well, how about this one piece? And I said, no, come on, you look terrific. She said, what if I don't? I said, you're gonna. And she did it, and she does look terrific. You feel a little bit, you don't know when they're going to blow up on you when you're working those negotiations. You push it as far as you can, hoping that they're not going to get offended.
All right, let me come back to this. The casting, the story is what?
My story is Ben Stiller is married to Patricia Arquette, has a little son who's 3 months old, and can't name him, doesn't feel confident in his own identity because he himself is adopted. He says, I'm going to go across country and find my parents, and he's assisted by a very attractive adoption counselor, Téa Leoni, who goes with the family. And it just becomes a long road trip, a comedy of errors and sexual misconnections until he finds Alan Alda and Lily Tomlin at the end of the road.
All right, take a look at this. Here's a clip, Flirting with Disaster. Two questions. One, is the Ben Stiller character some extension of you? I mean, how much of you is there after 15
drafts?
Drafts.
Enough to make me uncomfortable. I mean, because I had just had a baby at the time I was writing this, and it completely disrupted our sex life, and I think scared me a little bit about the nature of responsibility, and that's reflected in this character.
What happens to sex life after the birth of a child?
What happened for me is that it pretty much goes on hold.
Yeah.
At least because I think...
Because the energy is focused somewhere else, or...?
The whole thing changes.
Yeah.
I mean, your wife goes from being your lover to becoming a mother, and her breasts go from being erotic objects, I guess, to being functional objects. The whole thing just changes.
Yeah.
And it can be scary.
So part of this is you?
Yeah.
How much?
Oh, I would say I take my worst traits, Charlie, and I exaggerate them, you know,
Yeah.
so that you end up with something that seems ridiculous and funny.
The comedy is clearly your sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
The comedy is a comedy that appeals to you. How would you characterize it?
It's a comedy it's based in realism. You can't see where the jokes are coming. You never know when something is going to, you can't predict where it's going ever, and you never know if it's going to go serious or if something's going to blow up in a comedic way. It doesn't shove the comedy in your face. And I got that from the movies I saw in the 70s, Shampoo or The Heartbreak Kid. And it's about digressions. You start to head towards a certain thing and you end up digressing, and you almost forget about that goal, but then you come back to it.
Yeah. What was it about the movies of the 70s? I mean, I know you're a student of that. I mean, you had Chinatown was made in the 70s.
Right.
Shampoo was made in the 70s.
Oh, All the President's Men.
All the President's
One
Men.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. What is it? I mean, what was it about those movies that sort of ties them together?
It's a very subversive time, and I think it was the Vietnam War and Watergate that made and they were commercial movies. And today they would be considered almost independent movies. There was an appetite for they had dark endings, many of them. They were not afraid to be subversive, and I think it was because of that era.
Where do you think we are now in the 90s?
Gee, the 80s had such a big impact. The 80s introduced Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was like steroids, you know, so suddenly everything had to be like a ride, a blockbuster. The blockbuster syndrome came, and I think it changed the face of movies. They suddenly had to have huge, broad appeal, which means they tend to be less subversive. In the 90s, I like to think the independent film movement is swinging it back the other way. That there's so many big, broad movies that people have an appetite for something different. And I think Pulp Fiction or The Piano, a film like Who Shot Andy Warhol, they're films that people want to see.
Have you seen Who Shot Andy Warhol? I mean, people tell me it's terrific.
Yeah, I think it is terrific. Yeah, I saw it.
You also said one interesting thing once. You said that to be a little creative lying is necessary to being a good storyteller.
For whatever reason, I think that's what made me a storyteller. In my youth, I told some great yarns at Show and Tell and elsewhere that...
you could make up things.
Yeah, I'd make up sort of a Tom Sawyer type of an attitude where you like to entertain people or captivate their attention. I'd be on a ski lift when I was 10 and someone would say, "Where are you from?" And I would create a whole person for a strange adult. It's the imagination at work, I think.
What's next? I mean, you want to go somewhere way the hell away from what you're doing now and show that I can also paint with these different colors. Watch me.
Exactly. And then who knows what the New York Magazine...
But you know what those colors are. I mean, you
sure.
won't be the sexual neurotic then. You'll be the...
who knows what I'll be.
Homicidal.
I want to do a period film that has a lot of historical, political subtext about how the 20th century came to be with cars and the way we live today. But it will be a drama about individuals and their relationships around the turn of the century involving a robber baron.
Yeah. What was that film? Was it Coppola made that film with Jeff about, what was that famous car that was made?
Oh, Tucker.
Tucker, yeah.
Right. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges. Who made that? Did Francis make that?
Yep. That was in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, but that was about a man's obsession rather than about automobiles, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you more about my idea if you want to know.
Okay, I want to know.
All right. It's about a family and the son of a baron who goes out west to the oil fields to solve a family problem that he turns out to be being used as a decoy by his father to make a much bigger deal, and he's been left in the dark by his father. And it's about how the uses of oil changed completely.
And where is this process right now?
I'm writing
Are you ready for photography or?
Oh, no.
No,
I went to Princeton University yesterday and had the good fortune to meet with their history department and ask them a lot of questions.
Now, see, this is terrific stuff for me. So you show up, young filmmaker, and I've got a movie, you can say, and it's been well reviewed. It's called Flirting with Disaster. And you say to them, show me the history department. And you'd sit there and you just talk about...
I got the best job in the world. Yeah, I sit there, I went to lunch with the American History Department and I said, this is the movie I want to make. And I told them the story. I said, I'd like to know, what would this woman be doing at this point in history? Who would this woman be if she was sort of a rebel? They said, well, she might be a suffragette. She might belong to one of these rural communes that were against technology. I said, I asked all kinds of questions. It was really fun, more fun than college.
And how much did this cost you?
To go out there?
Yeah.
It didn't cost me anything.
This is a great, I mean, this is, I mean,
I was
come
a
on,
guest
this
of
is,
the history department.
well, see, that's just amazing, isn't it? I mean, you letting them help write your script.
Yeah.
And you're tapping into sort of enormous sense of America, saying, you know, place my story in some context of America and tell me all that you have spent lifetime learning about so that I can invest my film with this history that you know. Yes?
Absolutely. And what I found out that was fascinating is that the debate that was happening in America 100 years ago is the same debate that's happening in America today. Rockefeller and the Republicans of that day believed that it was religious. They, as Protestants, said, to show that you were a virtuous person, the only way to do that was to be a really great businessman, which is sort of trickle-down economics. Whereas others of the day said, no, there's a different way to be of service.
That later was expressed by a guy named Wilson, who was the chief executive, I think, at General Motors, who said, what's good for General Motors is good for America. In a famous quote that he made. Mike Nichols. There's nobody that you admire more than Nichols.
It's hard to beat Mike Nichols. Look at his first three films. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Carnal Knowledge, and The Graduate. Those films will live forever. He's really smart. Everybody wants to work with him. He's become a bit broad and commercial for my taste, but I know that, you know, he's an extremely bright.
So Birdcage is too commercial, too...
It's a little broad for my taste, that's all. You know, I mean, maybe someday I'll be making a film like that, but I don't think so, not right now.
David O. Russell.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.